Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Under Construction. This is a thing where we do stuff in trains, we build route. Let me put the link here in our Discord, which you can join down in the description below. There we go. Now I'm actually live on YouTube. That second time's the charm, or something. I was hooped into the wrong account first. Anyway, let's zoom in on our wonderful world of Tolbrand. For those who don't know, this is a route building mega project by yours truly. I stole the name off of a game called Besiege, which is pretty cool. You should check it out if you don't know about it. But that's really neither here nor there because it's just a big route. I mean, what else can I say about it? Yeah, that should probably be pulled back. This is a sharp corner. This is like, I wonder what the radius on this is. Cat is in here bopping the dog toy around, so that's kind of funny. Alright, so we go straight across the landscape here, take a right, take a left. I don't remember where we were last time. I don't remember what our stated goals were. I know we did have to work on these bridges, huh? So let me flop over to the route layer, flop over to it. Hello, Mopac, hello, Sherry Dunbar. I am exhausted today. Last week, actually, Wild came in from out of town, so where were we on Thursday night? Oh, I was waiting to pick him up because his flight was terribly delayed. That's where I was. So yeah, sorry for the lack of video last week. It was unexpected. Ideally, I would have either had him on the show, or I would have done some under construction and then gone to pick him up, but it just didn't work out that way. He was supposed to get in at like 4 o'clock, something like that. Ended up getting in at like 8ish, which of course is smack dab in the middle of typical recording time for this, which meant that this was it was a no-go. I made mention of it in the Discord. I know not everyone is in there. Everyone should be. All are welcome, but bottom line is, yeah, I'm sorry, we didn't have a stream last week because I just wasn't around for it. But that means if you weren't here last week, you didn't miss anything. It's not like you missed me doing a stream by some weird happenstance. I didn't have the stream set to private, which was the last issue. Forgot how I did this. Which was the last issue on a Horseman stream. Which, if you're not subscribed to The Iron Horseman, I should have put a thing for that in the description. It is not the Chronicles, it is our community channel. That is, we do, yeah, basically, no stream because of Frontier, really, but, 6 of one, half dozen the other. I want to navigate this around. I need to be a water bender, basically. Is my shtick right now. Is this? It looks like. Okay, yeah, no, because it wouldn't have been cut off like that if it was. Whatchamooze it? No, it is. What? Oh, because it's a spline, idiot. It's not a thing. Well, anyway, our goal this week is actually to work on Pan Am a little bit, because that's really what I feel like working on, and what I feel like working on is taking precedence tonight, because, like I said, I am tired. So I had to get up at about 5 this morning, and I was awake earlier than that just because I had to pee really bad. Sorry if that's TMI. But you know how it is. Either way, yeah, I was up wicked early, and I had to drive 3 hours to New Hampshire immediately. Oh, come on, let me put the spline point in. Which was a little bit rough. I didn't fall asleep, but boy was I sleepy. Don't drive while sleepy if you can ever avoid it. I'm someone who dislikes coffee and other stimulants like that, so I'm setting myself up for failure, I understand that, but I am still alive to this point, so that's not a good metric to go by. Don't do that, kids. Anyway, yeah, I had to get up and do a site visit at a bus terminal in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and then I came back and then I did a boatload of yard work because we're having a gender reveal party here. Um, and I wasn't planning on burning the forest down because I know gender reveal. But then while I was going through some stuff to get ready, I had to go and dig some stuff out of the back of my car. I found an old battery bank of mine, and this battery bank had it's just one of those that has a solar panel on it or whatever. It's not anything special. I used it maybe once, and I just tossed it in a bin of stuff, which ended up getting put in the car, and it's been there ever since. It's been there for years. Um, some of you may already have figured where I'm going with this. Name the kid Blaze, yeah. Um, well, marijuana just got legalized here in Ireland, or it will be legalized shortly. They just passed the vote on it, and so we could name the kid Blaze anyway. Anyway, the I found this puffed up battery, and I went, oh god, I don't really want to touch this. I don't want to deal with this. I took it out. I set it on the concrete of my driveway, or the asphalt of my driveway, and I just went, hey, DT Cheney, welcome to the stream. Um, and I just went like, okay, I don't know what to do with this. And I Googled it. It's like, well, what you should do is take it to one of these Rhode Island resource recovery recycling places where you have to like take it there. And this thing is really puffed up. And I partially am lazy, but also partially am nervous because I'm looking at this thing going, this thing could explode. Like, this is a bomb. Um, so I just, I left it there in my driveway for a while. Not really the best thing to do, but the only thing I could do in the moment. While I went and I cleaned up some stuff in the backyard. Now I have a metal fire pit, and I went, well, worst case scenario, if this thing blows up or just catches fire, whatever. Uh, it's not like it's a bomb, but it could become an incendiary device. Uh, I would like it to be in a metal container, ideally. It should be like on a slab of concrete far away from everything, but unfortunately, I don't have a very large lot to my property, so I don't have a slab of concrete on which to throw stuff and just let it combust. I went, well, if it's in this metal container, that is probably like the best that I can do. Um, so I stuck it in, I stuck it in a metal container, um, or in the fire pit rather, and then I left it there, and it's still there. I didn't know what to do yet. I don't want to take it anywhere. I don't want to put it in the car and take it anywhere. That seems like a recipe for a disaster. I mean, I know that it's already been sitting in the car, but that doesn't mean anything. Oh, sorry, it's a trackside object. RTK, through truss pier. Oh, I want an abutment. Ah, there we go. Oh, I put it on the right track too. That's cool. That's good. I'd like to see that. Come on, scooch that. Oh, because I have to grab it on the track, huh? Yeah. Scoot that a little bit forward. Hello, Admiral. Changed the user. Finally got into Trainz 2019. Oh, you're upgrading. That's good. At least you're still recognizable. There are some people that they change usernames and I have no idea who they are anymore. I don't think that's happened recently with anyone I can think of, but it has happened. I've been totally lost with some people's usernames. Alright, so I need to scooch this track over like... Oh, shucks. I want everyone to know that I have Dropkick Murphys smashed up, stuck in my head. Good song. I remember when it came out and they had a Dropkick Murphys at Fenway Park show because it was mid-COVID. Nobody could go out to anything, obviously. So they just took over Fenway Park and they had a show in there, and that was really fantastic. Actually, I think that was when they did a collab with Bruce Springsteen, which was very cool. Oh, right. That is the right spacing. because that is where the Anyway, I remember watching that concert and going, "Wow, this is fantastic." But in the run up to it, they just had, like, before the stream turned on, they just had that song on a loop. Like, seriously, on a loop in the I don't know what you want to call it, the lobby, the pregame lobby. And oh my god, like, it was a good song. I recognized it as a good song. I was entertained by it. But I didn't really want to listen to it 50 times, and it just played over and over again. It was incredible. It was like What's New Pussycat, you know? Although without all of the, well, I don't know if this is What's New Pussycat again, or if this is just a really long song. Uh, I found myself liking narrow gauge and Trainz. Never experienced such a huge collection. I don't know what 2019 comes with out of the box. Like, just off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. But narrow gauge is good and based and fun. 2 foot is what the people want, as some would say. And these tracks are really close together. They have to be really close together, apparently. Actually, I need to use bridge track, don't I? Do I have an RTK bridge track? I do. Okay. That's gonna... Son of a gun. I'm gonna want to delete some of these spline points, because... What the heck? Alright, that's an issue. Oh, 30-inch gauge. 30 inch is neat. You don't see 30-inch in the wild too often. You see more 3'6" in terms of unusual gauges, like not an even foot. I mean, metric conversions aside, I suppose even meter gauge is basically 3 foot, and 600 millimeters basically 2 foot. And I wouldn't wager that it's a coincidence that those two things are the way that they are. I kind of want to straighten these pieces of track out, which would mean deleting all their spline points. I'm not sure if I'm game for that. I'm looking at this and going, wow, that's crooked. I don't want to leave it like that. The part of the issue is these pieces aren't straightened out. There's one of them that wasn't. That one probably wasn't either. Because I broke these into 3 segments, and now we have 3... well, we had 1 straightening per 3 segments, and so there were 2 that were not straightened. I mean, this is not bad. It's a little bit wonky. I don't love it, but actually, if I can scoot these over, just no, because I still need room for the other abutment. Well, alright, we'll have to figure it out. Anyway. We'll burn that bridge when we come to it, just like I will be burning down my backyard, which is what I was trying to get to. Found this thing. It's in my fire pit. We have a gender reveal on Saturday, ideally. We're waiting on the results for that. We don't know what the sex of the baby is yet. And hopefully we get it on time, otherwise we're going to have to postpone the thing, which means that there's a much greater chance of my small personal bomb going off before it's time to set the nearby forests alight. Alright, have fun. Have fun with your GP30. Anyway, so we'll scoot this over. Yes, we'll just have 2 pairs that are close to each other. I mean, I know they're not going to be perfectly straight, but I would like them to be close. Mostly so that when you go over this thing at track speed, which is I think 79 for the inner tracks and 60 for the outer tracks, so that when you go over it at track speed, it doesn't just feel atrocious and shake you from side to side. One of the ways to tone that down might be to tighten up the track quality on these particular tracks. Okay. Alright. Sounds like someone's crying in the other room, but I'm pretty sure it's just laughing. Okay. I need to scoot this over like that to line these guys up. No GP9B. Honestly, the Jeep Bs, or really any of those kinds of Bs, are really, like, weird. And I love them for that. There's, like, the Dash 9. Whatever, we'll fix that. The, I think, like, the B-boat Bs that the province in Worcester has. I can't remember if they're B-boats or what they're called. But whatever those engines that they have. But they had a B. I don't know if they have it anymore, but they have a B. Had a B. A baby bumblebee. And I just thought it was derp and, like, neat and cute. I mean, I don't have a particular affinity for B units when they make sense, but when they're B units that are just on locomotives that really don't need a B unit, like, it strikes me as odd that you would have one. That's when it gets interesting. And I do think that most, what are they called? Which one is a hood unit and which one's a cowl unit? I think cowl. Now I gotta look this up before I'm a fool. Oh, I'm getting like cowl. No. So, oh, cab unit versus cowl unit versus hood unit. Okay. Anyway, point is, uh, a cab unit looks like looks like it could use a B unit, whereas a cowl unit or a hood unit rather. Oh right, these guys have. What am I doing? I'm gonna screw myself over again. I need to slide this slightly. You guys know which one I mean. Yeah. So the non-full width ones, they don't look like they need B units, because why would you need a B unit with that? But the full width ones, uh, they do look like they need B units, because what's the point of having an engine in the middle of the train that you can't see out of anyway? And plus, it looks dumb. So, welcome back, comrade. Okay, so we're gonna put this bridge in here. And we're gonna put another one on the other side. And I spent all that time making them the perfect distance apart, and I didn't realize that this already has spline points. I don't know what made me think that it was just just a piece of bridge and not actually track. Oh, give me the other one, thank you. There we go. Why you have a B unit when you can have years ratio? Get ratioed. Why have a B unit when you can have? I don't know. There's not many things that. Oh come on! There we go. That preclude having a B unit. I mean, it's not that difficult to have. Where'd it go? Son of a gun. It's not too difficult to have a B unit, I suppose. Alright, I can slide that right up to there. Why have a B unit when you can have depression? Oh, I just heard Gloria mention celery salt. Celery salt isn't like no recipes, but it is on Oneyville, New York System hot wieners, so. In fact, one of the important fixins. You put celery salt on hot wieners. Hell yeah, I gotta represent. Can I slide this more slowly? No, it's only in those increments. Well, no, that's not good. Yeah, there we go. SD40B and SD70B? That's That's so bizarre. I feel like I've... Oh my god. Now these are really messed up. Alright. At least everything will move together. Because when I move... Nope. 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 There. Give me this. So when I move this... Oh! Yeah, everything moves together. Okay. So... Overpowered slugs. I love slugs, honestly. Those are such neat, weird units. 56 B units. That's a lot of B units. Not the bees. Yes, my love.
Hi.
What's up?
Nothing much.
Why you come running in here like you're sneaking around? Sneakily? We have muffins!
I didn't take a muffin to work this morning. I didn't have time.
But you brought one home?
I got muffin at work.
If you feed them at work, they'll follow you home. You can't just be taking things home, you know. We don't have room for all these muffins. Just look at mine.
I don't appreciate that.
Shoreline comes in here and says, "Muffin time? Did Ellis cheat?"
No, Alice is
Oh! Gloria said no! It's official, I did not cheat. Nope, you said no. It's on record. Are you? Oh, okay, never mind. That's correct. I don't doubt that. It still strikes me as weird that they had ST-40Bs. I mean, you can make a B unit out of anything. I mean, give me a Sawzall and I'll make a B unit out of a Gevo, but like, it's not something like it's there should be something in like the laws of nature that prevent that sort of thing, but I guess the laws of nature just aren't up on their Gevos on stacks. All right, do thing, connect. There we go. Connect. Connect. Please? Please? Yay! Alright. B unit Shay, yes. Now this will make Tyler angry. Where's Tyler? Can we get a B unit Shay? When are we getting the B unit Shay for Railroads Online? No, not like a class B, not like a 2-truck Shay. We're talking a B unit. We're talking a cabless Shay, controlled from another Shay. Is that... I mean, you could make, like, a Shay slug unit by just extending the drive axle onto another... I guess it wouldn't even be a locomotive. It would just be... Well, it would be a slug. That's the closest thing you're going to get. Actually, the closest thing you can get to a slug in steam locomotives is probably like a tender booster, or like the triplex or the triplex. That is a steam locomotive with a slug. Do slugs usually carry extra fuel? Because if so, that is definitely a slug. Alright. Alright. Come on. Come on. Alright. That's in the right spot, more or less. I've spent more time on this one bridge than I really should have. Gloria was talking about how we had sushi yesterday. I think I had an allergic reaction to the sushi. Because my throat got kind of sore after that, and it's still not better. That's normal. The rash on my chest is just because I break out. The opposite of back pain. Not really. You guys all needed to know that. It's okay, the bar here is pretty low. I was going to say, this is going to be kind of low episode, like, middling, There's a few steam locomotives that have diesel engines in them, so that the locomotive does not use... What? Huh? What? I'm going to need a source on that. I've never heard of such a thing before. Anyway. Yeah, I thought this was going to be kind of a low-key episode because I am just exhausted. But apparently, I still have some energy in me. I mean, I just ate an entire box of pierogies by myself. Um, Culvert. Oh, right. Culvert Bridge 3-track variation. Culvert Bridge 2-track. I mean, this is probably fine to do what we want to do in the end. It's just not really what I was going for. None of them exist. That's heresy. Because I was going to say, that doesn't sound like a thing that exists anymore. No, that doesn't sound like a thing that existed, but I'll believe you, but I want sauce. Alright, so we're just going to string these across here. Trainmaster slug. I mean, the Trainmasters all sort of look like slugs anyway, or slugs or B units. I mean, the Trainmasters are some funky looking engines. And not even like it's extravagantly funky, it's like funky in the other direction in that it's not... Like, they are so incredibly plain looking. However, I think that helps their aesthetic, because they look pretty cool.
You want water?
I could use a little more, yes, please. Thanks.
Would you like some ice cubes?
No. I should be fine without the ice. Okay. When I was in Italy, you had to order water, no gas, or still. Or else they would bring you sparkling water all the time. I don't get it. I don't get sparkling water. Slug, cabless Trainmaster, yeah. Okay, so obviously this is not going to be like this. We need to build a proper culvert, but I don't know how to do that with, like... I have a really bad idea. No, that's not going to do it. Because I was thinking... Thank you, baby.
You want
I love you. I was thinking if we used some of the... Oh, that's lanes. That's... Excuse me, lays are lacking. Not the Uinta ones. Those are cool. If we were to use some of those edge splines, we could make a sort of culvert, but like a retaining wall, I should say. Actually, let's try that. Retaining wall. And I probably don't need this culvert bridge for most of it then, because we have our own railing. Oh, excuse me. And if we hide it like that... Goodness gracious, I almost just had a severe incident on camera. Because now I've got hiccups, which means I need to hold my breath and be quiet. I'll be right back, just think about what I was thinking. Oh, that's a problem. I was wondering what the problem would be, and that's it right there. We found it, guys. We did it. I need a retaining wall that doesn't have the dirt part. Can we use this if we want to be ridiculously overkill? Actually, no, we can't. It needs to be basically 2D. Let's just do... Show search filter. There we go. Can we just get a wall in here? This one will do. Yeah, this is actually kind of what I was thinking about. No, it has a top. Damn it. BDW retaining wall. No, I only have the one. This one's too short. Stone wall, brick wall. Brick wall, that's definitely too short. Retaining wall, retaining wall, retaining wall. Stone retaining wall dirty. Ah! This is what I was thinking of. Oh, that's cool. 2 battleships and 2 2662s. Black Hill Central is cool. I would love to get out there someday. Alright, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to push this a little bit further into the river so that we have more of a confined channel flow looking thing, which would be a little bit more accurate for a culvert. And I'm doing this with no reference photos, no references. This is totally winging it. This is not how I recommend building anything. But you know what? Here we are. I'm going to have to lower this. Nope, not that. Thank you. The other thing. Can we do... line it up with that? Give me this height. And I'm trying to avoid sneezing. It's killing me. Oh, you know what we can... Oh, you know what? I can lower this by just a hair. Other thing. Grab this again. If you're going to Philly, check out the Olympia. Worth it. If you have time, if you have an extra day to kill, I mean, battleships are cool, but there is nothing in the world quite like the USS Olympia. If you have not seen it before. Even if you have, I mean. If you do like me and you go on a slow day, then you might run into someone who is willing to take you around to some places where you wouldn't normally be able to go. I mean, we got into the Admiral's cabin and stuff like that, which, of course, was very fitting for myself, but just in general was incredibly cool, because that is a lavish space. It is a really nice space. Alright, so notice how these things are just sticking up, the fence is sticking up just a little bit? It almost looks like it belongs, which is fantastic. I apologize for my runny nose, by the way. I'm just, like, so wrecked from yard work. Hi, baby.
Hey.
So, I think I need to fill this middle in with something because I didn't make the tracks close enough together, and I don't feel like making them close together. I think, adds note to Dream Home, I am building a bridge / culvert. Yeah, that looks right. I love you. I want to not be able to see down here. What do you say, baby? You're welcome. I can use this. This is overkill, but no, just kidding, it won't work. Wait, yes it will. I just need to be really weird with it.
Okay.
Yes, my love.
You don't want to do jewelry. Like earrings, like stud earrings.
Okay, baby. Okay, so if I lower this into the ground just enough. Give me this. 7507.
Why?
The Philadelphian's dream home has an automatic cheesesteak maker.
Yeah. Is that just wool or bottle?
Well, somebody just mentioned their dream home, so just figured I'd throw my hat in the ring with that.
It's not a preference.
Okay, so that's filled in at least. It doesn't look great, but it's in. Now we need to do the other side. So let's start with this stone retaining wall. And in fact, I think I want to make this fairly narrow, so let's go right here and try to make it parallel as best we can. And that's backwards, isn't it? Oh, no. No. This one's definitely the backwards one. You can tell which side is the better texture. So let's keep things parallel, if at all possible. That looks like it gets a little bit narrower. And it's not perfect, so we'll go like that. That is very narrow. I think we can sort of recenter the river to make that look better. We're bending the world to our whims. Absolutely. Only as much as the railroad would have, really. Which is my ultimate goal in here. Not change the world too much. Holmes' lawn traced out as a battleship. That's fun. Just mow a battleship into your lawn when you go to do it. I had my very first instance of mowing like a diagonal line across my lawn and going, oh man, because I didn't really mean to do that. I used to do it sort of as a form of really dumb protest when I had to mow the lawn at home, which would mostly just annoy my dad. I didn't really have anything against mowing the lawn, but it was just my like, oh yeah, you think it's perfect? We'll take this. Because I would go back and forth. I would do it properly, and then I would intentionally just draw one big diagonal line. Mostly the backyard, because I could get a better diagonal in. Not a thing to do if your dad doesn't tolerate shenaniganry well. Thankfully, mine does. And then for the longest time, he actually had a picture of me mowing the lawn hung up on the wall. I guess sort of as like a point of fatherly pride of like, my son mows the lawn, which, sure, I mean, I did. I did it not infrequently. I did it probably more often than I do it here at my actual house, partially because that lawn was much larger. But, you know, it's one of those dad things, I guess. Nope. Ah, there we go. Grabbed it. Alright, let's see. Is that... Yeah, that works. I think this is fine. It's a little bit strange. But I'm sure there's precedent for a box culvert like this. Really, if I'm doing something fancy like this, I should be going and finding prototypes that make this work and not just winging it like this, because there's a non-zero chance that this is completely like bogus, you know, that there is nothing to me doing this that makes a lick of sense. So you know, I don't really want to be doing that for large portions of the large portions of this railroad, but here we are. I need to grab this, and we'll fill it in here like this. And then just right along like that. I'll bring this end down because it's the easy end to grab. Tractor now. Knowing manually push non-motorized mowers. Those are fun. I like those. I had one of those. I used to, before I moved away from Cranston where I grew up, I had one of those, and it was, as far as yard work goes, it was my prized possession. I mean, there's not too much to say about how much an individual may like their yard tools. Certainly myself as an individual, I don't spend a ton of time in my lawn. When I do, I like to have the right tools for it. But in seriousness, I did really like that. I did very much like my mower there. My push mower. Even though it made life kind of a pain. It was just another anachronism, you know? I'm a sucker for that stuff. Sucker for going with the older thing, even if it makes my life a little bit more annoying. Just because I think it's neat, I guess. Yeah, so there we go. We have this culvert that we've built. It's something, I guess. We're not quite at the town of Pan Am. In fact, I should probably level the world out here. But there should also be some sort of, maybe a dry riverbed going this direction. Because we've got, once again, we've got a, you know, a set of hills here. What is he doing? Is there a dog outside? He's having a little spaz attack. Oh, we're still going up. Honestly, I would have liked to go down on this side, but like a high point would be here. But you know what? We'll go down to like we'll start going down already. We'll start going down to maybe here at a not steep grade, but at a gradient. Did you shut the door? Yeah, that'll shut him up. 4M standard bump. Okay, I guess we are still doing terrain. Because, oh, well, this was not my intention, but here we are. Okay. So real quick, if we go from Pan Am, we go down. If we go down to here, if we go down at a rate of negative 0.2%, which I think is actually fairly steep for what I want to be doing here. 0.2%. We're going to have that descent there. I would like a relatively flat section, but oh well. And then the thing is, so I don't know what the height of these two are going to be. I don't have that planned out. If we go from here, I don't think I can just draw a singular piece of track. I don't think it'll let me. But if we go from here, see how far it'll let us draw a piece of track. Okay, spline too long. To like here. If we throw in an average grade of, let's say, 0.4%, because I don't want to be going down too steeply. Oh wait, I need to set this height first. That means at the end, we are fairly close to sea level, actually. We are like halfway down. And it means that at this critical point, which is where the river is... Oops, I missed. Whatever, let's just slide that over. It'll be a negligible difference. We're at 52. Or 56, rather. So... well, we can't have a long, basically dead straight descent here towards this valley. I do want a little bit of variation, maybe a little bit of like rolling hills, which would mean we probably want to be going down and then up just a hair to like over here, and then down relatively steeply, and then up or flat, and then down, and then, yeah. So, and then we would have like an abandoned tower here. Oh man. I'm just trying to think of how these, these large geographic structures would pan out. See if anybody said anything in the thing. Oh, okay, that's right, they're playing Cards Against Humanity as well. So, alright, so what is the height of this? I'm not looking forward to doing this. 89.51. There. You're drinking an IPA? Nice. Okay, so we'll go with this. We'll go with the 0.2. We're just winging it. I think it is a little bit steep for what I want to do, but oh well. We're here. It's 750. My dead battery, my very dead battery, will likely meet its end at the hand of a spike puller, and then once it's done exploding, then I will just be able to dispose of it normally. So, that is not exactly my, like, big plan. It's not a good plan, I'll admit that. But I really don't want to take it anywhere. Alright, so we're back to doing this again. I really did want to do a layout for a small town today. Instead we're doing terrain tracks. Oh well. That's just how it's going to be, I suppose. We're going to be doing a lot of this down the hill. But on the bright side, the terrain is so much simpler and more straightforward than previous areas. And in fact, I can spend a lot less time on a given area than I did for like the VMR. And when we get back to doing more mountainous stuff, which we will be getting into in the next segment once again, then yeah, that is another story entirely. Now, something that I am looking forward to, because this just popped into my head, is the interlinked passenger network that the Tolbren Peninsula has at the time of this map, which is actually fairly substantial. A long while ago, I built out a passenger timetable, and then I rebuilt it out, just not with the times, because I wanted to change the frequencies, and the times really can't be determined until I'm running test trains to see how long trains take to get from point A to point B. So that that shakes things up a little bit. I do want to have things in the route that are like through sleepers between different railroad companies. Things that are like, obviously different classes of trains, coach trains, sleeper trains, certain specials like the beach towel special, which is the morning train from Jefferson to Meridian Isle. It uses dual mode locomotives. It's probably going to be the only instance of FL9s showing up on this map. Actually, I take that back. The New Shoreham Tramway will probably end up using FL9s for some of its commuter if I end up committing to third rail. I'm still not sure what I want to do there. Originally, my idea was overhead, but there may be a mix of both. I don't have any of the lore for the new Shoreham Tramway worked out, but I know that they are, they're the result of some mergers, and they probably have a not insignificant stock of stuff from not just the various companies they merged with, but also from the other Tolbrin Peninsula railroads that have just handed the stuff off. The Gilson Eastern will have them asterisk. They will be pretty much exclusively for the Beach Towel Special. Unlike New York City, for example, the Gilson City does not mandate electrics and diesels, or no steam allowed. In fact, there will be a fairly substantial steam terminal there in Gilson City for more than one railroad. And so there's no need for something like the Manhattan Transfer, where or what's that New York Central Yard, Croton Harmon, where you're going to be swapping electrics for steam engines. Now, there could be one exception to this rule, and I probably should write this down because I do want to experiment with this notion. Where's my ideas doc? Where is my Gilson? Oh, it broke my outline. Gilson City, street ideas, area, blah 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 blah. Okay, so, Highway Central Artery. GERR has extensive steam, diesel facilities in city, but the Zion and Skyline uses electrics to access their terminal, a la Reading Terminal, because I've fallen in love with that place. And so has a transfer point outside of the city. Which, really quick, we're going to swap over to camera view now, or screen view. Because I'm going to go grab, where is it? Pictures, maps, Tolbrand. Where is my paint.net image? There you are. So we're going to open this really quick because I want to figure out where I'm putting this electrical transfer doodad. It would probably be, and see, the other issue is we have this Gilson South where all three things come together, and you have, this is the main line, so things will be, this is probably the largest interlocking there. I'm tempted to say, for example, and I'll just doodle this up, I won't save, but bring the Gilson Eastern down this way, like that, and so it comes through and ducks through and whatever, and then this terminal is the new Shoreham, the Zion and Skylines terminal, and that's going to be the terminating point for them. And it's more downtown, so maybe there aren't steam engines allowed, but this is far enough away, and it's the confluence of some major lines, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this is something I hadn't really thought about. I hadn't really thought about the terminal setup. I was just thinking, okay, big station. But having a Union Station and then a railroad that refuses to abide by that and goes and makes their own thing, that's pretty neat. I like that idea. Use of facilities in a city and a terminal away from Union Station. Access to their terminal / Union Station. Yeah, okay. Alright, I like that. New industry as well, assume power station. We have a power station. We know we're going to have one of those. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, stuff your nose. Runny nose from,
I love it good.
from
Say hi.
Runny nose from um, the High Line. Yeah, that'd be cool. We could probably. There would definitely be a space for one of those somewhere in Gilson City, I would wager. If I get. Oh, where's Mommy? She's over there. Why? Who's that? Good boy. Alright, to the couch with you. Woo! Okay, so, sorry about that little interlude. You never know when the pupper's going to show up. Yeah, the Highline-esque thing is definitely going to be something I'm going to probably want to figure out when we get there. We will almost certainly see more elevated stuff. I'm wanting to incorporate a lot of the cool things. I mean, obviously, that's the way designing your own railroad goes. But incorporating a lot of the cool things that a lot of these railroads have. The only thing that I think we're going to miss is like a large tunnel under a bay. We won't have a Hudson River tunnels anywhere, I don't think. If I wanted to do that, actually... Oh, man. Now... Because now my gears are turning. Let me just look at the map again one more time. I know we're doing more spitballing here, but let's face it, I wasn't going to get much work done today anyway. So... I will fix these soon. I will reroute the stuff to do this and then show that, and then that's that connection. As much as I wanted to have one big station, the Gilson South station is probably going to be that. Gilson South is then going to be a little bit like Back Bay, where it's the confluence of a lot of things. So I'm looking at this and going, okay, yeah, this is a bridge right here. This is going to be a bridge no matter what. And okay, it's going to be a large 4-track drawbridge. Gloria's favorite. And the only place that I would want to put a large tunnel is right here. But obviously we're not doing Jefferson, so that's kind of a moot point. What's that? Spruce door. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm not doing like planks. I'm doing like lumber. Like the actual like.
Birch door.
But I also have cherry wood and like.
I don't know what a cherry door looks like.
Maple doors look pretty cool too.
Let me do that. It'd be a weird one. Maple doors. We have so many trees we can breed. Anyway, yeah, the only place I can think to do this is up in Jefferson, and that would be if I really exaggerated this sort of setup a little bit to be shaped more like what Boston looked like in the 1600s, actually. And that would be kind of cool, I think. So you have, and I still need to add the Tamaros Van Anaconda going out like that, but you have the Gilson East, or sorry, the Volga Mountains that just goes around, it goes the long way and comes up Jefferson Neck into Jefferson, into a Union Station. Actually, you know what, it would look sort of like, you know, I'll just go over here, I've got nothing to hide. Look at my beekeeping thing. If it would look a lot like this, except bigger. Whereas instead of something coming across here, which this is, that's quarter mile, you would have the Volga Mountains coming around and in, and you would have the Gilson Eastern just going underneath the bay and popping out at a Penn Station-esque terminal there, or Union Station, and the counterpart to their New Haven being the TV and ARR. Just for comparison, the Hudson River, where is Penn? Right there? No, that's 14th Street. I'm I'm going too far north now, so it's down here, right? No? Yes? Maybe? I feel like it should jump out at me, but it doesn't. It's gonna be like, you know what? What am I doing? I should be able... Well, of course I'm not gonna see it like this because Penn Station looks like, you know, garbage these days. But I will notice a big circle as I'm scrolling around. There it is. I was looking way too far south. There were probably people yelling at me. Point is, the Hudson River... Oh yeah, and there's the thing. Hudson River at this distance is 3/4 of a mile. So it's about 3 times as long as the channel in Portland. But that is, you know, just have the museum ship next to the station. Are there subway tunnels under the Hudson? There's the path tunnels, so yes. I have the Pepsi Navy. On the yellow line of the northern of the 2 islands. Well, the thing is, that's a band. Oh, on this one. Yeah, actually, that's not a bad spot. We could definitely have a small tunnel there, sort of like the East Boston trolley tunnel. It would fit with the MO of the Volga Mountains being the ones who built it. Just sort of going big in this case. You know, a lot of this is going to be subway, and then it's above ground here. And so it running underneath this to Maw makes a lot of sense. That's a good call. Let's write that down, actually. Trolley tunnel, though. Tunnel on former VMR to Maw. There we go. It wouldn't be a terminal. It would be a, I guess just a station. It's not a terminal. I don't know what to call it. So, good catch, Matt. Oh, and now I look... Okay, I looked like I had jaundice for a minute there. Okay, back to work. Good with the ideas today. At least we're doing something, even if my brain isn't totally working. Even if my body isn't totally working on what I'm supposed to be doing. We are coming up with cool ideas for Gilson City, which is a place that we may reach someday. But probably not. Who wants to put bets on how long it's going to take us to reach Gilson City? I'm going to go with 10 years. We're going to be in Trainz 2032 by the time we get there. So, you know, you'll see me be old and gray before we finish this map, but you know what? This is it, guys. Now, the other issue is, I like to automate and build. Of course, you guys know that. I haven't done, like, any automating lately. We did some of the seeding for the industries. But, do you ever think about making a smaller map? Oh, constantly. But, nope. We're not doing it. Could a narrow gauge tourist line interchange with the regular trains, like Strasbourg but narrow? I don't really have a place for a tourist line, but there is an narrow gauge line on this map, so. We're gonna have Surveyor and Oculus. Oh man, if I'm doing like the second half of Tolbrin in VR, how cool would that be? Speaking of which, I hope everyone's seen the announcement about the content packs for multiplayer Surveyor. That is very, very cool. Strasbourg having a station at Lehman Place. Yeah, well, they're supposed to build a yard. They should build a station too. Once upon a time. Rip Strasbourg doing cool stuff like running excursions to Harrisburg. So, or even just town. Lancaster. That's the name of the town. Yeah, with multiplayer. I'll get some people on here to help me out. That's the thing. I'll go from a builder to a project manager. I don't think I want that. I don't want to be figuring that out. Last time I had to do that was on the Arn Horseman route, and I already gave a treatise on how that thing came out. So, you know, I don't. Those who study history are doomed to watch others repeat it. You know, I'm not going to be repeating it myself. Yeah, well, they should just run it on the mainline Mango Gobbles, Matt. They should restore 1223 and run on the mainline Mango Gobbles. I mean, it was easier when there was extra tracks. Now there's 2. So, you know, little bit more difficult. The Broadway ain't so broad anymore. Although I can imagine doing another. Oh man, would I want to be doing that? See, the thing is, I would love to get back to so many things in Trainz. One of them being the Iron Horseman Modular Railroad, because that was really cool. There's still a module that I never added to that, and I need to, like, jump on them, or what I really should be doing is just having, like, get-togethers where people submit them and I troubleshoot them and install them in one go. I mean, I could make that a stream. Oh, speaking of which, I need to put up the vote for the Wednesday specials for next month before we get to next month. The first Wednesday in June is literally the first. Okay, so I have very little time. I need to put that poll out. So, oh, don't worry, they will. I'm sure they will. Just give it time. Use 4014 as a locomotive. I mean, they're going to have to with the way the STB is coming down on them. Well, why'd you restore that thing? So we could run it on the main line, Mango Gobbles, and then they do it. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Big boys on stacks. When? By the way, don't take that sort of thing from me as the word of God, or like anyone with authority saying anything. When I say things like that, unless I amend them with like, so I heard from, you know, somebody important that they're gonna do X, Y, Z. No. Don't trust me. Don't take my word for it. Unless I can supply supporting evidence, because I don't think I can supply supporting evidence. Worked for about 2 seasons and going now. First of all, is that like a personal attack or something? Second of all, we didn't go on the Iron Horseman wasn't because of creative differences. It was just because, I don't know, people's computers broke and nobody felt like doing it anymore. And I became an adult and got a mortgage. That's really it. It's so much less entertaining than like Wyville and I were at each other's throats about working on. Now, I mean, yeah, he wanted me to stop doing it because I was killing myself over it, but that started in like episode 4, and we made how many episodes after that? So, you know, less creative differences, more just like apathy. Remember, apathy is a tragedy and boredom is a crime. So, man, I don't like the fact that I did all this green paint. The green paint is in my way. I should just, like, put a giant blue pushpin and named it Pan Am. Also, I love how when people find the blue pushpin, they go, what is this ridiculous thing? And it's like, apathy is a misdemeanor. And it's like, why do you need a giant blue pushpin? What would that be useful for? This is ridiculous. You don't need that on a route. I've used it so much. It is so useful. It is unspeakably useful for just being a thing that you instantly notice. It's like, oh yeah, there's giant blue pushpin there. Ah, that's the thing that I replaced this asset with. I'm on the Trainz 22 view, right? Just want to make sure. Yes. Running the route and undershot the Olive Station by a mile. Oh man, are you me in MSTS through my entire childhood? I could not stop at stations for the life of me. I bet you I still couldn't. In DCC mode. Like, I had so much trouble with that. You know, I wish I had more time to spend, like, running trains. I mean, I guess I get to do that in the Bacon Line every week, but... thank you, Mopac. Tips for Surveyor. Oh, man, I don't know where to begin. You really need to be more specific than that. No more than 4. So, tips for Surveyor. Know what you're trying to build from the get-go. That's like my number one tip. Know your enemy. Know, you know, if you want to build a certain sort of scene, go look at pictures. Go on Google Maps. Figure out how a railroad's built through a scene like that, and then try to duplicate that. Don't just wing it. It doesn't make for good surveying. I mean, you can, but you might not be happy with the product. If you're going to be happy with anything, you probably don't need tips. But yeah, that's my number one tip: is know your enemy. To know what's going into the sort of scene. No, you don't need to know exactly what kind of trees and flowers you need, or what kind of track you're using exactly. But know, okay, I'm going to build a forested scene with a river through it, and then I'm going to build a bridge over it, and there's going to be some embankments, and that's how this sort of thing usually looks. A town is about, the town that I'm trying to build is about this big, with this many blocks of residential or so. And you can totally eyeball it, ballpark that, but, you don't need to count exactly, but you need to know what you're looking for so that you can know when it looks right. Now, at the same time, tip number 2 is don't be afraid to experiment. Don't look at the selection of content you have and go, that's a shame, that's what I have to work with, I guess I'll build a town out of that. No. Go on the DLS. Download stuff like crazy. Download 15 houses at once. Just go for it. And go on Discord servers and forums and be like, yo, I'm trying to build this thing. Does anyone have, like, asset recommendations? I could use some good houses. I could use some good whatevers. If somebody has a question more specific, like, to me, you ask, I'm looking for XYZ. And then I will go, okay, let's see if we can find something like that on the DLS, because I'm constrained to the DLS. You all are not constrained to the DLS. You guys can do whatever you want. You can go download stuff off of sketchy Russian websites if you want. I'm not going to stop you. They might, because they might give you a virus, but that's not my problem, as long as you can still watch YouTube videos. In seriousness, do be careful about where you download stuff from, but yeah, don't settle for your assets. For the scene you're trying to build. Have an uncompromising vision, to an extent. So that's tip 1 and 2, and I know those are extremely general and probably not what you're looking for, but that is sort of my very basic, know what you want to do, and then do it. Now, from there I can launch into all sorts of very specific things. I mean, you guys know how I like to build routes. Namely, I like to do the terrain first, then I do the track, then I do everything else. Track in the road network, etc. I've never actually run into a Trainz version site because I can't find something, usually just give up. I mean, there's no shame in supplementing with something that works well enough. Because, some assets, they're tough to find, or they just don't work well, or any number of things. I mean, there are plenty of reasons to go, well, you know what, this is good enough. But just try first, give up second. Don't give up instantly, just look around first. Which I'm sure most people do, but that is the point I want to hammer home. Now, yeah, and that's... As far as Trainz route building goes, my next tip is remember that you're building a world, not just a railroad. While it's cool to just build a railroad, perfectly fine. I'm gonna sneeze again. Excuse me. I sneezed the ideas right out onto the floor. What was I saying? You're building a world, not just a railroad. That's the wonderful thing about Trainz routes. If you want to just build a railroad, you can play rolling line. But if you want to build a world, Trainz is your game. I mean, you can totally just build a railroad in Trainz, but again, that's not the kind of tips I'm going to give, unless that's what you're specifically asking, in which case, there's way more interesting and specific stuff I can give about just the railroad building side of building routes and trains, but that's not all of it. So, what? So, the, yeah, you want to recall that you're building a world. You want to recall that worlds have people in them. And typically, worlds have things like farms and industries that aren't connected to your railroad. Uh, they have modes of transportation that are not trains. So you need to worry about where your road network is. You also need to worry about things like hydrodynamics, and that's a big word that means where the water goes. So this is something that is really, this is the number one tenet when it comes to building a landscape, is you need to be attentive to water flowing. Bless you. Bless you again. Oh, jeez. So if you have, well, too bad the internet is not listening, or good thing rather, right? You need to be attentive to where the water is flowing off of the things that you make. Water always needs a way out of something. If that is into the ground, you're still going to have a lake first, probably. Unless you're building incredibly arid areas, but there are still flash floods in arid areas when water finally arrives, usually via massive rainstorm. And you need to be attentive to that. You need to be aware of that. That is, that is a thing that happens. And that is going to define the way your landscape looks more than anything else, more than tectonic activity, more than human activity, more than railroad activity, and more than, you know, alien activity, I guess, or anything else for that matter. It's, you need to be aware of that. You need to abide by that. And that's number one for building terrain. Like I said, number one for just building stuff in general is to remember that you're building a whole world. And when it comes to that world, we come back to point number one, which is know your enemy, which is know how big the towns you're trying to build are, know how big the roads that you're going to have are, and how they're typically set up. Don't be afraid to start digging into, like, okay, how does this stuff work and what does it look like typically? That doesn't mean read the MUTCD like Mason does, but it does mean go on Google Maps, go on Street View, and take a note of what a road looks like, you know, in the area-ish that you're trying to model. And if you're freelancing, a prototype that you can base it off of. If you want to go ahead and make your own manual on the uniform traffic control devices, be my guest. You can make a world in which stop signs are green. But point is, you're going to have a world. And some things are going to be uniform. And unless you're making a railroad that crosses country boundaries, you need to stick to the standards you create for that sort of thing, for that sort of world building. And that is probably like point number 5 or 6, wherever I am. And I talk about this for doing scenery in particular, because this is a way to make a cohesive feeling set of scenery across your route, is to get a few assets, you know, maybe a dozen tops that look good together. We're talking a couple kinds of trees, a couple kinds of grass, a couple of ground textures, a couple of miscellaneous scenery objects, and then some extra stuff, you know, maybe another kind of tree, maybe a rock that you really like a procedural rock, so you can place it down and it'll look different. I like that boulder. That's a nice boulder. And then use those to your heart's content. That doesn't mean make it samey. You can do interesting things with the things you've chosen without making it too samey, but you want to have a consistent look for the most part. unless you have a railroad that's going vast distances in areas where the climate is drastically changing or the environment is drastically changing as you move along. And I'm not talking about like you're on the global warming train and the world is getting warmer around you as you drive. No. What I mean is, of course, that the landscape is going to remain relatively the same. So my point isn't just get a few assets that you think look good together and stick with them. It is just to find a cohesive look and stick with it. Keep it cohesive. Yes, you may change climates partway through your route. You may go from a forest to a high desert or something. And yeah, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You just now have to keep track of two different kinds of setup and follow those rules that you've set out accordingly. Like, okay, if it's a slope steeper than this, it has this texture and no trees and this grass. If it's flatter, are you okay? If if you have something else, then just abide by the rules you create. Height maps and how do I get the ground pattern to be a default texture? I have no clue. I have no flaming clue. I wish I knew because it's making it grass now, and I don't appreciate that. Oh, actually, in that version of Trainz, you can do. There's a button I think right here, which is fill grid. When you're in 2019, if you're in 2019 or earlier, there's a button for fill grid here, and whatever terrain you're selected, it'll fill the entire area, just the baseboard with that texture. So that's how. That's the closest thing you're going to get to it being a default texture. Otherwise, just get used to wandering around with a really big brush and speaking softly, and copy pasting where all else fails. Copy pasting is something that I should have got used to earlier on in my Trainz career. My recommendation now is to abuse the hell out of it. So you have stuff in the newest version which is way more advanced copy paste and way cooler, where you can like save certain setups and then use them elsewhere. Very, very handy. Haven't used it. Probably not going to, but very useful, and I can recommend it. Now, I use the regular old copy paste a lot because I have something that I think looks good. Be careful that your copy paste may degrade over time. And just use it. Use it. Find the settings you like, find an area that you've done up well, and particularly if you're doing like a forest or like a desert or like a plains area where everything's pretty samey, just go nuts. Anything that's not near the track, just go nuts. Even stuff that is, just be aware that you're going to have to go back over it later with a fine-tooth comb and fix stuff. You guys have seen me do that about a million times, so that should come as a surprise to nobody at this point. Anyway, yeah, so those are some tips. If you height maps, so like the stuff in here is a little bit finicky, and honestly, I wouldn't really recommend using it unless you're going to be really judicious with it, and it's not the only thing you're doing. Because you're setting yourself up for a kind of a iffy looking terrain if you do that. Now, as far as DEMs go, that I can recommend, and if you have an area in particular that you want to model, there's really nothing better than a DEM. You'll have to contact someone who has Trainz DEM. I know there are a couple people in the Iron Horseman Discord that are usually fairly responsive, but I'm not going to tell you who they are so you can bother them. Just go ahead and post in Fake Model Railroading if you really need a DEM done, and be like, hey, listen, can somebody help me out here? Because, yeah, there are people that have and know how to use Trainz DEM. So that is incredibly useful, incredibly helpful. I cannot diss that. That's for sure. Now, oh, Lafayette's sleeping. Now, as for, the stuff in-game, that's a little bit more iffy. Something else that people might be tempted to use is the random terrain generator. Just don't. That's my recommendation there. Just don't. It's neat. It's not good, but it's neat, I guess. Um, all right. So we need to go like, oh crap, this is too narrow. Oh, I'm hiccuping like mad. What is wrong with me today? Okay. So, there's two options here. One is that we add a tile here, the other is that we add a tile here. The tile here will be very easy, the tile here will be very cool. And I think we're going to do tile here. Actually, I really don't want to deal with where does that river go. I'm going to be honest, I don't. But it would let me go in a straight line from here to Pan Am. So that's kind of... Oh, the other thing is we need another tile here. We will do 10-meter grid. See, look at that. That's garbage. Why would I want that? Yeah, alright, we're doing it. We're just going to put the tile there. And we're going to grab the grid texture, which is U. And we're going to turn that scale down. And we're not going to spin it because we're not dumb. Even though I've totally made that mistake before. We're going to fill in this area here. And then we're going to figure out how to put a river through here. We're about halfway through the episode, and boy am I running out of steam already. It may not seem like it, but I am ready to go to sleep. Even though I've got stuff to do after this. Oh yeah, that's right, we need to figure out what to eat. Kinda just want Wendy's or something. Like, something simple. So I have my important question for my baby. Are we moving the baby shower? Yeah, I keep calling it a baby shower. It's gender reveal.
Wait until tomorrow to see if we get the results, but if we don't, we're gonna move to change bed because I have to keep the reservation.
Okay. Okay, so we now have this which runs off into the hills there. We want to start with a baseline height, which will be right here. So grab that. You know, I keep seeing that ad for, yeah, gender reveal. I'm pregnant.
No, my cousin's pregnant.
Gloria's cousin's pregnant. I keep seeing, well, now Gloria left so I can't say it, but I'll say it again when they get back, so I'll say it first now, because I keep seeing the KFC ad that's like, pickles, mayo, bun, and chicken, pickles, mayo, bun, and chicken, pickles, mayo, bun, and chicken, and I go, man, I kind of want that now. Like, I'm not sure anyone's actually been that happy eating KFC ever, but it makes me feel like I could be, and that's I guess the point. But at the same time, I could get the same thing from Wendy's and not go to KFC, which is a win. You know the ad with the woman staring at the sandwich from KFC and she's going pickles, mayo, bun, and chicken, pickles, mayo, bun, and chicken. Yeah, that. I mean, it's kind of made me want that. I don't know what it is. I don't even know what it's for. I just know that it's food from KFC, which I haven't eaten at KFC, like, as far as I can remember in my life. Oh, Jesus Christ! Wrong button. And I don't feel like tonight's the night to go to KFC. In fact, I don't really think any night is. But, you know, you never know with these things. We're going to be stranded somewhere. I thought the same thing about Arby's, and then we had it when we were out by the IRM, so. Arby's IRM. Funny if we have a new Trainz, but still don't have dynamic lighting. Yeah, well. I mean, we sort of have dynamic lighting, just not good dynamic lighting. It's not like everything's totally baked in. People have managed to do some really neat stuff with points of light in screenshot competitions, I'll say that much. So. Alright. That just reminded me for some reason that I need to get back to writing stuff. I am getting towards the end of reading off bits of the Housatonic at coffee shops, which means I need to start writing something else to put at coffee shop, which means also that I need to get to work on the second outline of the Housatonic. And I have reached a point where I feel like every writer reaches, which is like, damn, this thing is not workable. There's no way this is going to turn into a good movie. Um, which may be accurate. It's maybe it's something I would like to have happen and that I have poured a lot of love into, but that doesn't mean it's a good movie. Although, just because of the constraints on it, just because of the way you're trying to tell a story and the story you're trying to tell. I've been debuting it at coffee shop to lead people through it because I want to get people's opinions on what it is. And yeah, maybe I am working through this second outline and maybe I'll finish that on my own. But I wouldn't mind if people see. No, I would like to finish a second script before I send it off so people can like seriously look at it. Because I want to feel like I know what I'm doing, even though I don't. Okay, so we've got that blended in, which is actually quite good. That went really fast. Doing terraining, doing like, oh crap, I never finished this. This is just a flat plateau, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Wait, is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? Do we want to just leave it like that? No, I don't. Yeah, I definitely don't. Alright. Radius up, sensitivity down. Let's make some hills. Sensitivity up a little bit. I have one or two scripts that I could read. I mean, I'd love to see more, like, I'd love to see bigger coffee shops. It's a lot of fun to listen and talk about people's stuff. I mean, obviously, we want to hear about our, what people think of what we write, for the most part, I would hope. But I just like seeing where people go with stuff, and I like throwing in my 2 cents. Maybe that's a little bit too self-aggrandizing, but I was going through one of Ian's scripts with him, and we sort of realized that we needed to sort of tear down and start over because he was trying to adapt something that really wasn't fit for adaptation. But the story he was trying to tell was a good one, and so we started toying with it, and we just came up with like this flood of ideas. And then Dean recently, in the most recent coffee shop, Dean started writing an account of Gemini, the trip in 2020. And Gemini was an interesting horseman trip. I mean, a lot of crazy stuff happened. But I did meet the love of my life. And also, yes, you are, baby. There was also like ways to take it, like horror movie ways to take it. I mean, we went to the Hoosic Tunnel, we were there at night, we stayed at this creepy Airbnb, which was ultimately pretty cool, but in hindsight. But when you get there, it's like, oh my god, there's like weird paintings and like dolls in places, and we're gonna get murdered. There's a man chopping wood, like without a shirt on outside when we pull up, who's just like, hi, and we're like, oh man, that's the killer. That's the killer. That's the horror movie killer. And I'm sort of, I always look back on that and go, man, this would be like a great way to do a horror movie. We're going to write a film out of this. And then we ran into some awesome guys at a place called Village Pizza down in the town of North Adams. And suddenly it was like, oh, and these are the guys that come to save the day. Like, these are the guys that, like, kill the demon or whatever, or, you don't necessarily need to put a name to whatever it is, but it's this, this sort of sociopathic old lady and her son or grandson, adult son or grandson, who does the dirty work because he's like developmentally disabled and just is okay with murdering on account of it. Maybe he's even happy about it. But anyway, Dean started reading out. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that you're going to steal Spock. I do intend to defend Spock. Um, or that you have contrived a plan, or you're making a conspiracy to steal Spock, I suppose. Um, you come steal him yourself, you coward. Don't make Pat do your dirty work. Pat is not developmentally disabled. Just because he buys a lot of hats doesn't mean anything. No, you should. Yeah, no. Dean, you should novelize it and go whole hog. Just like you have like the, you'll have to twist it around a little bit. Um, make like, to make it a little bit more stereotypically horror movie esque, and to make it flow better, you have me pick you up with everyone else that's already there. Maybe we have a run-in with Tony, but it wouldn't be important for the rest of the story. Like, the issues with the wagon on the trip, they didn't factor into the overall storyline, although I suppose you could have the classic car won't start trope. Novelized version of the weed guy encounter. I mean, that was like 2 seconds. But the real horror was the carpeted bathroom. Yeah, that's true. Um, there are so many ways. I would love to sit down and workshop a a novelized version of Gemini that turns into a proper horror movie story, where like, I'm probably gonna be the first one to die, right? I feel like I would be the first one to die. Um, Dean, you're writing it from your point of view, so I guess you have to survive. Um, I don't know. I don't know in what order everyone else would die, but needless to say, we all gonna die. To the axe murderer at the Hoosick Tunnel in North Adams. Um, okay, I think I'm gonna leave this as is. I sort of like. Yeah, the unfortunate thing is, Dean, I'm not. Man, this is just too flat, though. Here's what I'll do. We're going to do a new technique right now, because it worked out well a minute ago. We grab this height, just throw it down over here. That's actually not as tall as I expected. We need to go higher. Okay. Find themselves around an Oijo board. Very loosely events based on events that may or may not have happened. Yeah. No, I mean, we can't give the address because we don't want to like discourage people from staying at this lady's house, because in honesty, I mean, despite the like initial creep factor, once again, she was a great hostess. I mean, I really had nothing to complain about at the end of the day. She even made us a breakfast, so um no, that's the sequel. The sequel is Apollo, except it's with everyone else except for the people who died on Gemini, and then you can contact me from beyond the grave with the Ouija board, and then you guys have to do a thing to bring me back from the other side. That's the sequel. There you go. I just made a great like double feature movie. You're welcome. Hollywood, you can call me whenever you want. Sell the rights to Disney. It turns me into a, Mickey Mouse. I am the Mickey Mouse. Alright, we're just gonna do this. This is fine. It's a little bit weird, but it's fine. No, don't make it TTO related. It's best as a standalone. Steal some gizmo from Atlantis. No, just the Ouija board. Like, go full Stephen King on this thing. That's what I want to see. I want some, like, classic horror movie stuff. The multi-horse. multi-haunts. Yeah, so maybe I'm the only one to die, and you guys are going on Apollo, like, in my memory or something, you know? And then you stumble into the house with the Luigi board. It's like, whoa, we could talk to Ellis through here, and then I actually respond. And then I'm like, go to the top of Mount Washington and do this ritual, and then it's like crazy snowstorm in July. I mean, which is fairly not atypical for Mount Washington. But or go to Phillips and I said Stephen King, not Michael Bay. Uh, Transformers Ouija in disguise. Okay, this is just flat. That's all it is. Dean inherited the Volvos. Yeah, and then Dean dies, and Kavan gets the Volvos. There you go. We've come full circle. In the second one, Dean sacrifices himself to bring me back, and Kavan gets the Volvos. I should put Dean gets the Volvos in my will. That way if I die first, he's just mad. Not yours. There's a prophecy. Obviously God. Well, he believes in the prophecy. Is this, like, veering to the left? No, it's actually pretty straight-ish. Severe anger. The big reveal, Dean was secretly the killer so he could get the cars. Yeah, there you go. Dean drives off in the Volvos and lives angrily ever after. That's the other sequel. The Volvo Killer. Yeah, I think we've got ourselves some decent scripts here. We're making this happen. Dean, get ready to be a star. And get some Volvos. I don't... I already hate my job. I don't want to hate the means to get there. Well, then vote for transit. Lafayette is like a poodle German Shepherd mix. It's the, like, Lafayette gets, like, the movie style glow up where it's like, oh, he's a way more important character than he is in real life. He's our Scooby-Doo. You guys take him with you to the cabin in Apollo, and he helps you solve mysteries. Will I get murdered in the wagon is the question. It is veering a little bit to the left. I mean, Lafayette at the time of Apollo is like 4 months old. He's a tiny little baby bean. And yeah, no, I mean, he would never have known me. So there's been Apollo, Gemini, and Mercury. Actually, there hasn't been Mercury, because the things after Apollo were just Skylab, right? Mercury was really early. But I have been wanting to refer to all of the visits of horsemen to my house post Apollo as just Skylab whatever. So, like, the first one, which I guess Weibold would have been the first one, which would just be Skylab 1, and now, whatever the next one is Skylab 2. So during the runtime of this stream, Valve has finally said they're working on TF2. Well, we have TF2. TF2 came out a while ago. See, I don't want to get to Space Shuttle. Nothing against the Space Shuttle. I just don't want to be naming Horseman trips STS whatever. Like, shuttle's cool and all. I mean, we could just call it the 2-foot shuttle, I suppose, because I'm just taking people to Maine. But Apollo was... No, we had Apollo. We did Apollo. Apollo was the set of trips after Gemini. Or the trip after Gemini. Gemini was 2000. Or, not 2000. Gemini was 2020. Might as well have been 2000. It's forever ago. And then... okay, I think I'm off to the right now. Hang on a cotton picking minute. Put that there. You may ask yourself, what is a cotton picking minute? Well, it's the same as a normal minute, except racist. Nope. Wait. It only matters if it's right back here. Which it is not even close. It needs to go further to the right. About as much as I moved it already. So yeah, we did... So Apollo was planned first. And it's because we were going to the railway to the moon, which is the Mount Washington Cog. There's a story as to why it has that name, but point is, we planned to do Apollo as our next big trip, and so we did Apollo we planned Apollo as our next big trip, but then things got shuffled around, and people all decided to come visit me at the same time. So we decided, okay, if we're doing a trip to New England for Apollo, the previous mission would be Gemini, or the previous set of missions would be Gemini. So we had Gemini trip in 2020. And then on came 2021, we did Apollo for real. And yeah, it's just everything after that is Skylab. Skylab, or Steam Lab. 2-foot lab. Okay, so now I have it lined up. That only took several attempts. Now the thing is, we're coming into a town here, and we need to figure out what this is going to look like. So we're going to have a big interlock. It's probably going to look very similar to here, just smaller. In fact, I'm thinking maybe just 1 or 2 sidings, and then a couple of stub tracks, no engine facilities. No turntable. The only industries we're going to have are probably a grain elevator, a station, mail. Well, mail isn't a commodity that we use, but station, general goods, just as a team track. And that's probably it. Probably no coal stave. The town's too small. Yeah, I mean, really, that's going to be it. The sidings are just going to be for storing excess grain cars. In fact, I might not even, well... So the thing is, if we think about this, right? If we look at this and go, okay, so we're going to have 4 tracks coming through here. Do we want to have a side track for trains that are stopping? And the answer is I'm not sure, because let's see. In Olive, which is a larger town, we have less infrastructure for the passenger station than we do in Mason's Landing. So we have this setup, of course. We have the 2 side platforms, and that's it. Express trains do not stop here at Olive. They go straight through to Jefferson, or through to Gilson City. And then we come down, we go 15 miles down the road. Next town, of course, is Mason's Landing. And if we look at Mason's Landing, now we have, well, it's a junction. So technically it has probably just as much infrastructure. But you have this whole set of crossovers across 4 tracks. All this stuff peeling off here for the team track, for the station building itself, for, you know, the engine servicing for the branch line and everything like that, which, honestly, we have engine servicing at the other end. We probably don't need engine servicing here. But I think the rationale is that this engine servicing is because it was its own independent railroad, and also because there's a lot of stuff that's handled here. Oh, my computer is angry, by the way. Thank you. So, yeah. Can I justify having engine in meet up Ares? I do get the reference. I hope you've... I was actually just thinking about The Martian again. I hope you've watched that episode of The Realist. But I was just thinking about how The Martian is great in that it gets the... Like, not gets the... But the right amount of things go wrong in that movie. I feel like a lot of movies are... You are faced with an insurmountable obstacle, and now you are going to overcome it, and the movie is the story of overcoming it and being not sure if you can overcome it, but then overcoming it. Whereas The Martian is very shortly, you know, from the beginning of the movie, yeah, we're totally going to overcome this. This is fantastic. We're doing it. And then it screws you over, and then it says, actually, nope, sorry, drop the ball on that. A Voyage by Sea. That is a good one too. Oh my god. It's been so long since I thought of that book. That book made me literally cry. Holy crap. Oh, it's been so long since I've read that book. Voyage by Stephen Baxter. It is... Yeah, it is really something. And yeah, no, the Martian's attention to detail between the movie and the book, pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, there's some things they had to drop, some characters you don't get to spend as much time with, but by and large, it does a really good job of an adaptation. I talked about this in The Realist. Point is, I really need to go and get tires for the 940 because it's going to stop being drivable really soon if it keeps leaking like it has been. Tomorrow's Friday. Do we have a BJ's book? Hold on. This is now... I just need to know if this is expired or not, because they're always towards the back. And I need a new set of tires. 150 off instantly. 70 off a set of 4 Bridgestone tires plus free installation. How do I do this? Offer valid through June 15th. 2 conditions apply. I'm going to have to limp the car up there. When is their tire shop open until? That I need to know. This Muskra special mission. In seriousness, yeah, it's probably worth seeing in theaters. I can agree with that idea. Okay, so I actually want to increase the elevation on this, or the whatchamahoosit on this to, let's go with 0.1. It's not really going to make that much of a difference overall, but sorry, I got very distracted very quickly. That's just my brain tonight, I guess. But point is, it's a good movie. It is... Oh, crap. I would like Starship to stop exploding, please. I mean, it hasn't exploded in a while, which has been a little bit disappointing. Anyway. So we're back to this, and we're back to talking about movies. This is my other movie podcast, is what it comes down to. Now, the thing is, there's two ways we could go about this. First of all, we can keep going in pretty much a dead straight line. We're going to have to avoid that corner right there. But we're hitting the town of Pan Am. And the thing with the town of Pan Am is that it's tiny, and I don't know what to do with it. It is going to be one of these that is built up around the tracks. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go back. We're going to go to Google Maps on this one. We're finally here. We're going to go to Google Maps on this one. And this is not a mill town. It doesn't have any significant water features, really. It might have like a pond. Screen. So we've got an hour left. We need to find and replicate a town. The other thing we need to be aware of is that we need to build some roads still. We'll just go to Ohio, although I think I was looking in Indiana last time. Actually, no, I was like down here. Yeah, Mount Sterling is about twice as large as something, maybe 3 times as large as what I want. This is what I'm talking about. Although this is a mill. This is a mill. We have this here, and that's why, I mean, Jasper Mills. That would be cool. Honestly, I would love to have one of these. But let's look at our map really quick. I mean, we can't really have a town over here. Yeah, no, this area is not super conducive for a town with the way that we built the rivers. Maybe like right here, you know? This would be as close as you get. And we do have an area where the river sort of drops precipitously. If I remember correctly, that is over here. Yeah, right here. So we could put a mill here, because that would be neat. Maybe an abandoned spur that runs off like this to a mill. And a tiny, tiny little town halfway between Pan. I mean, we have Treadway, so we have precedent for these tiny, out-of-the-way towns. Right? We have this. And we have this as well, although there's not a town here. We just have stuff that's out of the way. So if we have like a 4-building town here, I'm just going to draw an M in red. Because that is a good place for a mill. This area is not, however. And now we need to look at, so this is going to be, what is this place called? Jasper Mills? Ooh, that's an unintended Steven Universe reference. Okay, I hate how my outline is broken. Mainline Olive to Bellington. Beach Travel Special. We have to write down Jasper Mills. Mill at Creek. Between Mason's Landing and Pan Am. And I will do this really quick. Just to make sure that we remember this, because more links are good. But I'm going to keep looking in this area because I'm barking up the right tree. Lee's Creek. It's Lee. Leesburg. Okay, now we're going in the right direction, although look at this warehouse. Oh my god. Right, look at this. It's a candle factory, I see. Mason Company. Well, that would be convenient, considering. This is a interestingly shaped doodad. Is this doing what I think it's doing? No, it's a shadow. My bad. So, this is B&O. That poor depot. Holy crap. This town is once again about 3 times as large as I need it to be, but it does have the grain elevator, so there's that. East Monroe. Now we're talking small. Once again, it's along a creek, though. Greenfield is massive. Greenfield, this is like the size of Olive in actuality. So, you know. I like this. I like... Oh, wow, okay. There goes that. Where does that go? Oh man, this is a small town. Again on a creek. I guess we can't avoid having a creek. It seems to be a staple of just about everything in these areas, which makes a lot of sense, but I just don't feel like dealing with it. That said, if a creek we need, a creek we shall have. But that means I'm probably going to put my town on the other side of this, so like down here. Because our creek's going to be like down here. Unless it's going this way. How far apart are these creeks? And do we need one over here? I don't think we do. Well, we have a river there, a river here, a river here, a river here-ish, and a river here, and a river here. I mean, that's a lot of rivers. We do kind of go a long ways without one when we're going up this ascent, but I could kind of see why. What do people have to say about this? How tiny are you looking for? You could make a town as one of my weeds. Malcolm, Iowa. I mean, I'm looking at this and going, this is kind of what we want. It's tiny. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Although, honestly, where'd Jasper Mills go? Yeah, this is actually... So, the thing is, if we're moving the mill off somewhere else, and then we're putting the grain elevator here, in a town like this... Oh, that's actually fair. That works. That does work. What did you say, Malcolm, Iowa? Yeah. Yeah. This is... Yeah. It's a little bit bigger than I would have liked, but this is on the right track. So, I'm going to poke around and look at some other towns. Brooklyn is bigger. Victor is bigger. Oh, that's bigger. How about Kellogg? Kellogg Historical Museum, huh? That looks sad. Yeah, we're looking at a town maybe half the size of Kellogg. A-line iron and metals, huh? So, this is about what we're looking at for Pan Am. Again, maybe half this size. These blocks are very small. They fit 3 houses apiece. They are 300 feet. Wow! That's tiny. Okay. So, we have a grain elevator. We have a passing siding. We don't have any storage tracks here, but I mean that's modern railroading for you. I'm gonna go with Kellogg. Oh, it's two G's. Of course it is. I don't want pageless format, thank you. Alright. Yeah, so we have Pan Am, I think. Although it's on a 4-track main line. Actually, the thing I want to see, then, is... Matt, you know what? I'm going to go look near the PRR main line for something similar. Because Broadway... I'm going to look near Letitz. It's just this area is so dense now. It's a little bit tougher. I mean, Gordonville. Yeah. So, Gordonville, you just have a siding for this. I mean, yeah, I mean, this is not half bad. It's a little bit more built up than I feel like wait a minute. Are these Sears? Are these Sears homes? Hold on. Damn it. They look close. They don't look like Sears homes, but they look close. Look at all these things. I want the grid of the other place, but I want the size of this. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Gordonville. And it sort of shows how they deal with a 4-track main line, which is to say they don't. Remember, know your enemy. Rule number 1. So, I'll be honest, I'm not in the state of mind to try and build track right now through here. I did say I wanted to build Pan Am. I just cannot do it. I can't do it. Well, we're going to try anyway. We're going to go straight down the line through here. I am going to add a couple of spline points first. I'm also going to do the ground on this section because it's a dead straight line. Nothing's going to change. Let's add some spline points, maybe here. Oh, shucks. I feel like I've broken it. Uh-oh. What have I done? Just give me this spline height, please. Okay, we're fine. Oh, we're not fine. Hold on. Something has gone terribly wrong. Oh, it's because we don't have the spline point anymore. Does that fix it? Nope. No, it did not. We're gonna have to fix those, this ground again. Cool. At least I'll get good practice using that tool that I always forget about. Wait a minute. Oh, son of a gun. Okay. How to place down more spline points. Here, 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 and here. I also want to straighten these guys out if at all possible. I don't know which side is straightened and which isn't. One of those two probably was, so now the other one isn't. Let's make sure it's not the end. It's not. Yay! So that means it's the one in the middle. Okay, back to this. Maybe look at Mount Gretna, not a Broadway town, but Tiny's Hill. I mean, I think I have my ideas for the moment, but I appreciate the towns. So There's two other things we need to do now, which is number one, we need to figure out a river for Pan Am, which is probably going to look something like, give me the blue paint. Probably going to look something like this. Oh, whoops, I don't care about the texture scale, sorry. No, that looks like crap. We're doing that again. This way, this way, this way, and then probably some sort of small mill pond, doodad, and then this way, and then this way, and then we want to go like steeply down. Okay. That means we're probably going to want to go up a little bit from here. Oh yeah, oxbow lakes are probably a thing. Well, the thing is, it's a little bit steep here for that sort of thing. However, let me go back to the map. Oh, we're looking at New York again. That's the wrong map. If we look at... Okay, let's go back to Ohio. I lost where I was. But it doesn't really matter. We'll just look at any of them. Yeah, these creeks are a little bit too small for that to develop real good oxbow lakes. Also, they've been well contained. We have stuff like this, which Paint Creek. It's just, they're too small. The lakes, when they form, they don't retain enough volume, and they aren't allowed to meander quite enough. I mean, they do. Here's a lake, but that's not the kind of lake we're talking about. Oh, having a little cemetery on the side of the road has not happened yet. We do need to think about something else, which, like I mentioned... No! The loss of an afro is a serious loss, no matter whose afro it is. I'm sorry about that. But hello, welcome to the stream. We need to figure out roads, right? We need to figure out where these roads are coming from and where they're going and where they're going and where they're coming from Cotton Eye Joe. We have this road which goes off this way, and this is the only western connection that we've got. I have mentioned that it would have made sense to have a ferry from one side of this river to the other, even if it's just like a cable ferry. But we don't. We the closest thing we've got is Kyoto Ferry, which is up here, which is no longer a ferry. So I guess you got something. But you've got the road that goes up to the castle, and then you've got the road to this farm here. And then I guess this was just deemed impassable. They didn't want to build a road through it. Next, switching to phone and getting ice cream. Jealous. Oh, I have ice cream. But we want to have a road that comes from here. And we'll be drawing this out very, very roughly today, I guess. We want to have a road that comes from here and comes down the hill somewhere where we can get down the hill. And that means easily and not in a terrible way. So I'm thinking like right here. And we will, once again, we will refine this as time goes on. In fact, I may want to come from further to the right here. So like over here. Or your roads have to make sense too. They don't need to make as much sense because let's face it, they're roads. They're kind of easy to build comparatively. Um, the other thing though is we're gonna want like an overpass or an underpass to get around, which means we need either a deep cut or a significant embankment in order to do this. And the only place I can think of to do this is, well, like over here, I suppose. Or like, once we get out onto this, I mean, you can squeeze a road under here if you really want to. Like right here. It won't be great, but you can do it. In fact, you might even be able to cross the river here and then turn and then go under the railroad there. We need to be mindful of that. We also, the thing is, we can't really squeeze a road on the side of this because of the way we built it. We need a road that goes to the mill up here. So we need some sort of dirt road that goes this way. And we need this main road to connect to Pan Am at least. And I say main road in big air quotes because it's a 2-lane road. Where are we? We are over here. Yes. But the thing is, this road... Now, usually in these areas, you get your roads that are built out on more or less a grid. But if you look at something like... Now, out here, no. No, these roads are too old for that. And these roads would be too that we're working on. Out here, they're very too old for that. I mean, look at it. It's spaghetti out there. Especially because this area is less flat, which our area is less flat. Even out here, yeah, you've got a sort of grid thing going on, but I would not call it a grid. You've got a lot of angles, but you don't have a grid. Use TR-2006. Do you remember how to use setup and access TLS? I know that it's been disabled. At least I'm pretty sure it's been disabled. But no, I don't remember. They don't support 06 anymore, so you're kind of... it's going to be a shot in the dark whether that stuff works or not. It's been a very, very, very long time for me, and honestly, I was too young to know what I was doing anyway. Okay. Now, actually, I want to see, and I keep clicking on the wrong damn window. Let's go to Pennsylvania. I want to see, are there any of these, like, vanishing points between farms and the rail... Where's the railroad? There it is. The Strasbourg Railroad. And here's the main line. This is what I'm... Didn't know that was there. This is what I'm talking about. This, these sorts of farms that end up getting wedged in between the railroad and the road, that's definitely tighter than the turn that I made. And that go to, you know, a vanishing point between the two of them, making like a triangular farm, like this almost. So they do exist. I just want to know how the world handles them. It seems to me that they don't. Like they're tough parcels to work, so they just end up full of trees. I mean, yeah. That sort of makes sense. Yeah, all these corner parcels are... Oh, there's one. Are not filled with farms, for the most part. And that one is not the tightest angle that we've seen. And definitely a lot broader than the one that I was working on. Look at that. Rail-served industry. Okay, so there's a trampoline park. That's pretty cool. Want to go to one of those again. It's been a while. There's Lancaster. What? They're fun. And now I'm following the highway. Oops. The point is, they generally just end up full of trees. So that's not necessarily... I mean, that's how to handle them. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Oh, I needed to finish this bridge because it's really awkward and dumb. Forgot about that. Sort of like me. Okay, so we'll go for this track. We'll go for this track. Okay, there was a straight piece there that apparently was very important. Ah, sugar. Get rid of that. There we go. We're going to need to figure out abutments for this bridge also. Right now, I have no abutments. In terms of abutments, we have no abutments. And I want to squish these pieces of bridge together a little bit also so that we can do the abutments. Abutment 2. Abutment 2, unfortunately, does not seem to mean 2-track, which is what I was hoping it meant. I know I have a brick one somewhere. Oh, there we go. It's just abutment 1. And it's backwards. As you can see inside of it. You're not supposed to be able to do that. So, we're going to slide... We're going to move this bridge around a little bit. I want to keep it... Shucks. I want a baby girder, I guess. Baby girder span. And then big girder span. Yeah, that's fine. It looks stupid, but it's fine. And I think we're going to do the same thing over here because we're just going to do the same thing over here. Pull this out far enough that the abutments will matter. Yeah, like that. Same thing with this. Just pull it out to like there. I mean, the baby girder span looks even weirder now. But we need to pull these things off the edge so that the abutments will not be totally out of place. At least these guys have pillars on the end and they just don't randomly terminate. Abutment 1, right here. Is that the wrong way? No, yay! And we'll probably use 2 of them because, yeah. At least they did a decent job of not having Z fighting on these things when you put them next to one another. I assume they are sloped just ever so subtly to prevent that from happening. Yeah, and that actually looks not half bad, which over here it will look a little bit worse because there's no room for the abutment, but I don't really want to push it out any further. And we're lining them up with these anyway, more or less, so that's kind of a victory. It would appear that one is lower. Something's killing me today. It's absolutely killing me. I'm so sorry, guys. Eternal struggle of splines. Yeah, the eternal struggle of my allergies. Oh, we're gonna go to Matt's house now? We're going to Matt's house? Hold on, let me go to Matt's house. No, just kidding. We're not gonna dox Matt on the stream like that. He doesn't deserve that. He's already had enough pain via his eyeball. We'll hide the screen, though, because we're back to working on the railroad. All of live long day. Okay, there's a little bit of Z fighting, but you know what? Cats can have a little salami. Trains can have a little bit of Z fighting. I don't think we need to worry about seeing the front of these things if the bridge's pillars just cover it, so it doesn't matter if they're forward or backward. Which is fine by me. Then we need to actually connect them. This is going to be... We're going to have to replace those abutments again, I guarantee it. At least they didn't delete the bridge. Alright, we're going to have to move the abutment anyway. Hey, is anyone looking at this and saying, hey, that's about the perfect size for a road? Because that's what I've been thinking since we put it there. The broken back curve, I think we're just going to have to deal with. I know that I talked about making the curve right with the way the thing was set up, but honestly, it's not happening. Oh, there goes the abutment. And there goes a piece of track, because I forgot to change things. Change tools. Slide this into place, slide that into place. Oh, you know what? I could pull this out just a tick more, because... yeah, it just doesn't... it doesn't want to cooperate. Let me... The other issue is, even if we want to make this straight, it is a little bit tricky considering now it's 3 spline points. I think we attempted the broken back curve on one of them, and we attempted the actual curve on the other, and I do remember confessing that the actual curve looked better, but this is Trainz, we're going with the broken back curve. But thanks. Oh my god. I think I'm going to put the main road under it. Because we need to get the main road from one side of the tracks to the other. Main road. You know that feeling you get on an airplane when your ear just won't pop? I now have that in my ear from sneezing too hard. This is what it's like to be old. Oh, shucks. I throw my back up. I throw my back out picking out a hut. Oh. Damn it, I was really going for a joke there, and I thought so long about how to make it work. And then I just immediately flubbed it. What I was trying to say was, I throw my back out picking up a hoe. And obviously, the idea is I'm talking about yard work, and then I would say, in Oneyville at 2 a.m. And people would think, ah, he's talking about a call girl. And I would say, when they're dead, they're just hookers. Anyway. So, there's a bridge. It's finished-ish. It's not totally straight. In fact, this one looks better than this one, even though this one is the slightly straighter one. But isn't that just the way life works? straighter ones just don't look as good. Yeah, I do want to shift this over slightly to about there. Yeah, that might feel like hell to go over, but we'll figure that out. Right, I was working on the road though, and we've got another half an hour or so of this. I don't know if I'm gonna make it the whole half an hour. The road, where's the road? I lost the road. I thought the road was over. Is it over here? Ah, there we go. There it is. Oh, you know what? I think I got it. I think I got what I'm gonna do here. We're gonna make a turn here, and we'll refine this later. But we're gonna make a turn here, and then we're gonna run straight this way to here, where we're gonna have an intersection, and the intersection is gonna be with the actual road, which is gonna go this way underneath to right there. Or maybe we'll put a couple spline points in, and it'll do something like this. You know what I'm saying? And we'll just move the river a little bit to make that work. Look how well that fits. And then we will have the other road, which will be either a dirt road or a paved road with nothing, like this. Go across the river, or at least up to the river. And there'll be a bridge, and then it'll be a dirt road or something that goes all the way over to Jasper's Mill here. We're gonna have to build a little mill pond and stuff over here, but that's easy. So yeah, that is the difficult part solved. The other part is just this road goes this way. It also goes this way. I probably want a road that splits off and goes in this general direction so that we can access something that might be over here, but there's nothing really over there. Alternately, we could just have dirt farm roads that go out in this direction. And one of them which is paved, which eventually ends up over here. I don't know what I'm going to put over here. Maybe another town a la this. That doesn't have a thing, but does have some sort of ferry crossing. I would have to build the counterpart to that on this side, though. That's the thing that's holding me up. I think the other side is just going to be completely undeveloped, or it's just going to be farms, because there's no way to get across right now without coming to either this pier or going to back of the bay, which would be over here. Which I did put a bunch of cars over here, and I could put a bunch more cars over here as like a parking lot sort of deal. So that you could maybe take a boat across to over here or over there. That's like a ferry. But it doesn't make sense why you would build it over there and not over here, which, in fairness, I could still do that. I could still put a wharf right here, which this is really low to the water, but, I mean, nothing we haven't seen in Boston. And then have a ferry that goes from here just to over here, or to over here, because this area is deep enough. This area is not. Point is, we're going to have to develop the other side of this, and it's probably going to entail some changes over there. We get the important part of the road stuff. Any further construction on the roads is probably going to... Yeah, that doesn't look good at all. Is probably going to require us to be blocking out the edges of fields. I need a dirt road. What was I using over here? The castle. Castle's over here. I was using this gravel road. No, I want a dirt road. These are not great. They're way too bright. Let's see if we can get to the DLS, I suppose. Remember what I said about not giving up. On download station. Let's see. Let's go for dirt road. 4x4 meter dirt. What is this? 4x4 meter dirt road with 5 meter fill. Let's download both of these. 4x12 meter dirt road. Dirt road 1. No. Dirt road 1. No. Yeah, I'll try that. Dirt road 2. Oh, that's just tire tracks. Dirt road 3. Let's try dirt road 3. That is way smaller than it looked on the thumbnail. That I don't mind. Hang on a second. I'm gonna have to end this stream just so I can sneeze a bunch. The thing that I think is essential for these areas that I look at this and I go, yeah, you know what? That's part of what makes these roads, is stuff like this, where the main road just sort of takes a hard right, or stuff like this, where the main road comes into another, like, this road is going to do this. I'm not going to hide that. I don't see why I would. But this is the kind of thing where this road's going to go in that direction. I just want something that's darker. That's what I want. Dirt road. No. Road 6. No. Dirt track / road. Let's try this. It's a 9x6. That's actually better. I like that. And it's a relatively high quality texture too. We might end up using this for a bunch of stuff. But the idea is this road would be a dead straight continuation of this road, which means that we're doing this. Although this area is a little hilly, it would probably still be pretty straight because it's not that hilly. And we still have like some room for farms on that side. But I think I will make this road turn here and go this way. And then do the same thing again. Just turn here, then go this way for a while. And I think I'll actually make that a little bit tighter in so that we can have more separation, so we can have farms on both sides of this. The thing is, we don't really need a cross street yet because there isn't room for more than one farm per side. Now, this next section I think is going to have our first cross street. It also might have our first bridge over here. Oh man, that is a tough call because I know there are some bridges that would do this. Like, we get a Basco bridge. Oh, we've used that before. Although having a railroad crossing here would not be out of the question, or really out of the ordinary. So that's not too bad. We just need an area where it's dead flat, like right here, to have it. So like so. And getting a road down to here makes sense to me for no particular reason. But oh, excuse me, goodness. That's kind of what I'm talking about. There are areas where we could have a bridge, and I'm looking for a very specific bridge. I'm looking for, okay, this is probably room for an underpass. We could probably get an overpass in here with a certain wooden bridge. Common wooden railroad bridge, no. CUK wooden bridge, no. Middle Ages bridge, that's kind of a little bit weird to have. Oh, wooden farm bridge, wider. Download those. I think it's in here. Yeah. So this I think is what I'm talking about. Although, yeah, no, that's those are too closely spaced together. Although this one might not be. Let's find out. No, and it's not tall enough either. But it looks like this. I wish I had that without the timber bridge. I don't know what's going on with the road there. But yeah, something like this. It's just they're shaped very specifically. They're sort of shaped like oh, sugar. Look at the way this is. It's not, the spline point doesn't dictate where the pole is, it dictates where the pole isn't. It's a little bit frustrating. It really kind of limits how this is supposed to look. Or, you know, my ability to make it accurate. Really, it'll be a long shot if I find a picture of the thing that I'm thinking of, but I can always try to look it up. Actually, well, see, one, you can get away with this, I think. And that looks kind of cool, not gonna lie. Let me just double check it with our measuring stick. Oh, we don't have it downloaded. Hold on. It's a new version of Trainz. I need to go get it. No, not the commodity. There we go. Baby Ruth IQ. Oh, it totally fits. Okay. Hold on. Let me see if I can find an image of what I'm thinking of really quick. Douglas Airline Trail Bridge. Nope. 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 Damn it. Wrong kind of bridge. No, I don't want a bridge that the thing goes over. I want it the bridge that the thing goes under. Yeah, this. I need a picture of this. Oh, here is, yes, 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 I got a picture. All right, hold on, let me show this. Can't believe it, honestly. So this bridge that won't load. This is on, there it is. This is on the Douglas airline. It looks like this, and I don't know why there's a ghost here, but this is, I've set foot on this bridge. Really not recommend it, but this is the kind of bridge that was over all sorts of rail lines all the time. And This is the thing that I would want to replicate for crossing over this. Now, I mean, this is designed for crossing 1 or 2 tracks instead of 4, but that's why you have an extra pillar in the middle. This is on the Douglas airline, which had these crazy trestles. This is not really an exaggeration. They were legitimately insane. Oh, I've never seen this picture of them. Wow, that's spindly as hell. The Lyman Viaduct. Where'd that picture go? Oh, there's 21. Oh, there's 21 pictures of it. Holy crap! Look at this. Yeah, yeah. Insanity, absolutely insanity. This was like a 400-foot tall trestle. It was gargantuan, and they just filled it in. They just covered it with dirt because the New Haven was like, "Oh crap, this bridge is way too spindly for modern trains. We are just going to fill it in with dirt." Okay, so I need to make this work, and we're gonna make it work because I want to put this bridge in. I like this bridge. Also, Gesundheit. Are you proud to have kept your voice from those Trainz 2006 video you made? I mean, you're recognizable by nostalgic people. Also, Gesundheit. I mean, I suppose so. I haven't ruined my voice yet. I'm not sure how I would have exactly. Oh, careful, careful. I mean, my voice is recognizable from a lot of things now. I mean, to say less about like the videos of heists that I've been in, just like you know the Chronicles, etc. It's just like my voice is out there. My everything's out there. I mean, if somebody wanted to like stalk me, it would not be hard. Oh, thank you. I finally shaved my face. It was a mess. Then Wildwood was coming in, and I was like, damn, I should probably not look like a vagabond when he gets here. So I shaved my laziness beard. I called Achilles out in his laziness beard, and he's like, no, no, this is on purpose. And I didn't believe him, and I still don't. It happens. I mean, ever since COVID, it's just like, no, why should I shave, though? What's a shame is we have that crossing there, and then we have this crossing. Oh, it's on the other side of the valley. So, yeah, okay. We've got those two crossings. We figured out where our railroad crossings are. We've got this one here, which is the main one, and then we have 2 more down there. We need to figure out probably 1 more up here, but maybe not. Maybe not until we get to Pan Am. Because where would you put it? There are no cuts. There are no embankments even remotely tall enough. There's nowhere to put it. I think if you Jasper, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go all the way down and around to get to Pan Am, your nearest general store, unless you want to ford this river, which by all means, or walk on the railroad tracks, I guess, which they won't stop you from doing in this day and age. So, let's turn that off. Yeah, I am disincentivized from continuing today. I am tired and sneezy, etc. Low water crossing. Yeah, no, I was thinking about that. Things with driver beds and stuff like that. I could always leave in just road that goes to both sides of the river, but I was thinking because this area is going to be all farmland, there probably is not a road that permeates this, you know? Because it would have just ended like here, and there would be a house, and they would have all this field. Get what I mean? That's what I'm thinking anyway. But we will see when it comes down to it. We need to figure out the road network on this side. I think next time we're going to be doing road network through this whole area and then blocking out Pan Am a little bit and Jasper's Mills. Or Jasper's Mill. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. This is the Admiral, signing off. And thanks for all the good ideas today.